Hey everybody, Old Man here. Thanks for stopping in for a few minutes today. I appreciate you. So my last video was shot at Dash Point State Park in Washington. I spent a bunch of time doing some talking head stuff in front of a campfire at night in the campsite. I pulled several minutes of video from that before I posted it to YouTube because I had some issues. So I was using a couple of Harbor Freight LED work lights as video lights, and I was pretty damn proud of myself for how I thought it was turning out. The problem is the LCD screen on my camera wasn't necessarily showing me the whole picture. Do you see those lines scanning from bottom to top, especially in the bright areas of the video like my shirt and my face? Those LED lights were refreshing at a rate that didn't match up very well with the shutter speed I had set on my camera. LED lights can do this, so can fluorescence and some other lights, especially lights that weren't made specifically for shooting video or taking photos. So I figured out how to fix this, and I'm going to show you how I did it in Premiere Pro. Now, I didn't figure this out on my own. I did a lot of research, read several blogs, tried a couple of effects, built-in effects in Premiere Pro, and watched a couple of YouTube videos to figure out how to do it. Here, let me show you what I did. Let's switch over to Premiere Pro. Before we get started in Premiere, I'll show you some of this video full screen so you can really see the effect of the scanning lines that are going up the screen. It's pretty distracting, isn't it? I already have Premiere Pro open to an empty project and a video clip from the campground already loaded up here. So the first thing I'm going to do is drag a chunk of this video clip down to the timeline so we can create a sequence. Now if we play this clip, you'll be able to see the scan lines, especially if you look at my shirt or my face. You'll be able to see them scrolling from bottom to top. So the first thing we're going to do is copy that video clip. I'm going to hit Control-C on the keyboard, turn off video channel 1 and turn on video channel 2, and then Control-V to paste. Now, if we didn't turn off channel 1 and turn on channel 2, it would have pasted into the end of channel 1. So we're going to do the same thing and paste another copy, hitting Control-V, into the third video channel. So now that we have 3 copies there, the next step is going to be to offset these 3 copies by 1 frame between the beginning of each. The easiest way to do this is to zoom all the way in. Just grab that second clip and move it 1 frame to the right. Grab the third clip and move it 2 frames to the right, so all the clips are staggered by 1 frame. Now at this point you might think that having those staggered by 1 frame might be a little bit of an issue in playback, but because we're at 24 frames per second, it's fairly imperceptible, and if I hit play here without doing any other modifications, you can still see the scan lines, but you can see that it plays pretty well. The audio also stays synced very well. The next step is to change the opacity levels on the 2 copied clips. So I'll switch over to my editing panel here and highlight that first copy, the second clip. Go to opacity in the effect controls and enter 67% there. Then go to the opacity level of the second copy, the third clip, and we want our opacity level here to be 33%. Now if we go back to play this clip, you'll see that those scan lines are all but gone. Imperceptibly there, I suppose, if you look really close, but it doesn't look too bad. So we've got a pretty good fix going here, but if you look more closely, you might find that because we've created what is essentially a soft focus, any movement in the video tends to get very blurred. So take a look at the fire here, and you can see that it's almost looks like it's running in some kind of weird slow motion. And when I bring my arm up there, there's a lot of motion blur in the video. I'm actually pretty lucky that there's not a lot of movement elsewhere in the video outside of the fire. So it's really just the fire I'm worried about. What I want to do is remove the effect of splitting these clips by a frame each from the area just around the fire. So in order to do that, make sure you've got the second clip highlighted and go to where we set the opacity to 67%. Click on the pen tool icon that'll allow us to free draw a mask, and then click outside of your preview screen and begin drawing a mask that covers just the fire. And then close it off by clicking again on the first point, and I'm going to move this around just a little bit so it gets all of the flicker from the fire. Because we want to eliminate this clip from showing in this area rather than outside this area, I'm going to click on inverted. And we're going to do the same thing with the third clip. Now there is a way to copy a mask from one clip to another, but this is a simple enough mask. I think we'll just draw another one here and pretty much do the same thing that we did with the first one. Close it off. Make sure it's adjusted well enough that it covers the area we want to cover and only that area, and invert that as well. Now if we have another look at this clip, let's get it a little bit larger on the screen, and we play this clip again. Now you can see that the fire looks a little bit more natural. Much better, right? I got pretty lucky because there wasn't a lot of movement in the video outside of the fire. If there had been a lot of movement in that video, it may have been completely unusable. So I'm still searching for lighting solutions, both remote shooting like I was doing in that campsite and here in the studio, hoping to find something that works a little better than what I have set up here. I'm trying to keep my budget well under $300. I'm having a hard time finding anything that I think will be bright enough for the studio and work well remotely and as portable lights. I've been looking at the Loom Panel Go. They sell a broadcaster kit that comes with a Panel Go and a little light stand. The problem is that to do what I really want to do here in the studio, I'm going to have to buy two of them, and they're $130 a piece. It doesn't leave me much room for like maybe a hair light or something for the background. Neewer, or Neewer, it's Neewer, has a bunch of studio lighting kits that you can pick up on Amazon. Many of them have 2 lights with barn doors and stands. Some of them even have 3 in that $200 to $270 price point. They're the big 660 LED bicolor panels, and I think that might work out pretty well. But I think what I'm going to do is hold off for a little while on spending any more money until I get things going a little better for me here in the studio. So that's it for this video. No tutorial of the day or gear of the week or anything like that. We're going to keep this one short. My next video will be on the Shiyun Weeble S gimbal. It's what I used when I was shooting in Washington. I've been using it a little bit around home. I'll do a video on setup and a little bit on my learning curve when I first started using it. Might be able to save you some hassle if you end up getting one as well. So until then, as usual, subscribe if you like, hit the notification icon if you'd like to be notified when I drop another video, and by all means leave a comment below. If you have any solutions to some of these problems that I'm coming up with, please let me know. If you have any questions, let me know that as well. I'll try to respond to as many of the comments as I possibly can. So, until then, be safe, be kind, and I'll see you again soon.